What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Eningi, and welcome to another episode. And we want to cover again another attack on the black family by its own members. And as usual, another coconut, Vusi Thembekwayo, a great businessman, a great business mind, but unfortunately now and then Vusi takes a jab at his own people, his own skin color, and just like Penwell, they because they can articulate themselves better than other people, they make sure that they dribble us in terms of the answers that they give. And if you listen to what they're saying, if you are not careful in breaking down the main issue, you will find yourself being convinced that they are right. Let's just quickly listen to what this fool Vusi Thembekwayo said, and it's something that really touches my heart. And I just wanted us to speak about this, discuss it on the comment section, so that we can break it down perfectly, so that we don't allow this type of mentality to not to be spread in our community, and the danger of our children and other people, even our peers, believing this nonsense. Let's listen to what Vusi Thembekwayo said.
You said black people were not ready for freedom. And I was like, oh, shit. So what were you talking about?
I'm not saying black people don't deserve freedom. First of all, freedom isn't something you deserve. It's a God-given right. So when I'm saying we weren't ready for freedom, what I mean is we got it, but we haven't freed our minds. What happens is we've put these people in positions of power and leadership whose mindset was not disentangled from the way things used to be. So they bring an oppressed mind into a freedom construct. Then they act like oppressed people, and we wonder why the results are the way they are. As black people, we need to be free people, not freed people.
Shit.
When you're free, you don't find the need to explain your freedom, you just are. And it was a reflection. It was okay, so we got it. But were we ready for it? Are we using it to the best of its ability, this incredible freedom that we enjoy? Are we being a generation that our children's children will look at and go, those guys had the right template, they got it right?
Now, Vusi Thembekwayo is a very well-known businessman around the world. I think Vusi is a billionaire. Yes, I think Vusi. Yeah, I don't think Vusi is a billionaire. So now and then he gives business sermons, and in his business sermons, for what reason I don't know, he always makes sure that he leaves a sentence, or he always makes sure that he leaves a comment that attack the black people. And you ask yourself why. It is people like Vusi Thembekwayo who can, without the help of government, because of how much they worth, they can sort out many problems in South Africa. Pit toilets, small issue to sort out for Vusi. Small bridges, I know he has built some. I know he does some charity work, but I'm just saying. So for him to say this statement that black people were not ready for freedom, it broke my heart. It didn't break my heart because Vusi said it, because I expect such a thing from Vusi and Penwell and the likes. But it broke my heart because he then wanted to dribble it and explain. Even the white man, what's his name, the guy that's you saw asking the question, he says when he heard Vusi say that, he was like, because it was like, what type of, we have a kaffir, a nigger that can think so beautiful. We have someone who does not see himself deserving of freedom. Wow. And we're not saying it, he's saying it. Their own people saying this, because if a white person says this statement, he will be attacked. He will be attacked. That is why I'm saying we black people must keep the same energy. If a white person comes out and say, a former apartheid president like de Klerk, or here in South Africa, the DA leader, Steenhuisen, John Steenhuisen, or any white person anywhere in the world comes out and say, white people, black people, you actually did not, you were not ready for freedom. You know, another thing that bothers me is that even our white leaders, our black leaders, when we took over government, we never really looked at ourselves totally as able. We always looked at ourselves as some people who need help. That's why we say the freedom that is given is not really freedom. Here in South Africa, our freedom was given. Let's be honest. Through negotiations, both Ntate Mandela and them had it was given on paper through negotiations on a table, and that is not how freedom should be, compared to how it happened in Zimbabwe, for instance. The sickness of black people looking at themselves in a mirror and seeing something missing instead of seeing something complete is what is bothering me. Why do you think that you are not ready for freedom? When we imagine what were we fighting for? 1976, Mandela, how many years? 27 years in prison, people getting hanged. We were not ready. White people coming, stealing our minerals, our commodities, they stealing our resources, raping our sisters, killing our fathers, enslaving tribes. We were not ready. White people taking our land, farming on our land, eating the fruits of our land. We were not ready. Vusi, running away from dogs, getting chased by police dogs, dogs eating on our grandparents' private parts until they die. We were not ready. Solomon Mahlangu getting hanged for no reason. We were not ready. Chris Hani getting assassinated in front of his house. We were not ready. How many more people were supposed to die before we would have been ready in boys like Vusi and Penwell's eyes? They even have the nerve to say the apartheid days were better than today. The apartheid government was better than today. The apartheid police was better than today. This is what we are living with. And you know, it really broke my heart, guys. It really broke my heart. Here we are in this channel trying to learn another African language, trying to connect with our African brothers, trying to connect with our Africans around the world. I've got people that are commenting on the status, watching from Venezuela. I don't even know where that is. Watching from America, from the UK, from Canada, our black brothers and sisters. Saying, King, please continue making this content. We enjoy it. When is black people going to unite? The white system is still working in divide and conquer. They divide us with our classes, the rich and the poor, and the middle class. The middle class live to survive. Their earnings are only for surviving, paying food, paying transportation and shelter. That's it. They can't even afford a proper education. The upper class, the rich people, They then dwell in a world where there is a few black people, and the environment where you are, you're going to turn into it whether you believe it or not. So they turn against us, telling us in 2023 that black people were not ready for freedom. How many more years were we supposed to suffer? We've got the poorest of the poorest looking at us, having hope that someone can save them. And we're trying to motivate that you don't need a somebody, you can do it by yourself. But we know it's not true, because freedom needs resources, freedom needs connections. Here we are today, we Africans, us who are told that we are nothing, that we cannot do anything. Why is it, do you think, Brazil, Russia, and China are so concerned about Africa? Because they know deep down in their hearts that Africa can survive on its own without the rest of the world. They're busy building airports for you guys for free. China. Russia is making sure that they plumb millions and millions of rands into Africa. Why do you think is it that these people who look down to us in terms of our skin color, but because of our land, they want to befriend us? Why can't you wake up, black child? On my last video, when I was correcting Penwell on his wrongs, there are, of course, some Penwell friends, fans who came to my channel and tried to correct me. And one of them said, and I because I watched some of the content of Penwell, I tried to stop. You guys told me that Penwell did an interview with AfriForum, and no, not with AfriForum. I think with someone from, I think it's AfriForum or Orania, and you guys said I must check it out, and I said I don't have the energy of doing this shit. But again, because it's bothering the people of my channel, it's bothering my fans, the people that I am trying to connect with, you know, I might just have to check it. And this stupid fan came to my channel thinking they can trap me by saying, listen, King, we Africans, we South Africans, because it's a South African person, we were fighting anyways. Before white people came here, we were killing each other. Look at how the Zulu kingdom was killing other. Listen to me, my people. In-house fighting was a normal thing in any continent. There is no continent that is immune to that. But don't believe the white people when they tell you that the Zulus were trying to take over South Africa. Never happened, never will happen. Yes, there were territorial wars a little bit here and there because the Zulu kingdom was growing in terms of their numbers. But the Zulus never went to Basotho land and tried to take Basotho land. The Zulus never went to the Khoi people in the Northern Cape and tried to take the Khoi's land. The San people's land. But Zulus never tried to take the Xhosa people's land. The kings, they met and dined together, respecting and changing each other's swords, sharpening each other's military strategies, trading. The Zulus were trading up until with the Swati kingdom. They never took their land. The Zulus traded within the Bela kingdom and the Tsonga kingdom, the Ngundu tribes, up to the Shona people. In fact, there is records of the Zulu people climbing up to the Central Africa. There is no truth in saying we were enslaving each other like the white people came. Now let's go to this white people claim. They got on ships to come here. And remember, we got on ships and went there and taught them before they could come here. If you don't know your history, you must study properly. Black people were the first to explore the other continents. It's not the other way around. You don't know this. That's why in every continent, when you look at their deep history, their olden history, the black blueprint, the footprint is there. Whether it's Chinese, whether it's Indians, whether it's Caucasian white people, when you look at their country and you go deep in their history, you find black people. Because we traveled first, empowered and came back. And the other thing is when we traveled, other people did not come back. They stayed there. And because of staying there of climax and mixing races and all of that, then they could not see themselves as Africans anymore because the tone changed. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like when the Afrikaner people came in, the Dutch people came here, started making children here, the children getting born here. The next thing, they could not see themselves as Dutch anymore. They saw themselves as Afrikaner Africans. You see, that's what happened. So when they came with all the knowledge that we gave in them and started attacking us. That's why when they came, we could trade with them in the beginning. We could speak to them human to human. They were even the Portuguese tried to come and colonize South Africa. They failed, I think 3 or 4 times fighting the South Africans. And the same people stopped them. The same people today are not even recognized as the official languages, as one of the official languages in South Africa. I would know. I stay in Northern Cape. I know how those people struggle and marginalize like they are nothing. So don't compare the two. Don't tell me white people we were fighting before white people came. So when they fight us, why is it that it's a problem? Another person say, then why is it that you use English? This is the type of debate that we have. Why do you think we are learning each other's languages in Africa? The time will come when the army is big enough where we no longer have to speak English. But in the meantime, I've taught you in my channel, start with the little that you have and let's grow. In the next few years, we're going to learn multiple languages on this channel. And we will create our own language in this channel. And people will be shocked. And I don't care if it's 10 people in South Africa, 1 in Canada, 1 in the UK, 1 wherever. As long as someone listens and we grow, iron sharpens iron. In a few years, I'm telling you, we will be far. We'll be looking at 2023 as if it was 10 years ago and would have developed an army. And we'll be able to shake Africa and the world at large. Start small. English is the medium that we use right now because it's easier for us to connect with it. Are we happy about it? Of course not. Of course not. That's why we have a problem with people like Gayden McKenzie who say, if I become president, all the illegal foreigners, all of them, they must pack and go. In fact, if they are clever, they should start packing now. Does not speak about the Chinese. Does not speak about the white people. Speaks about Zimbabwe, Zambia, Lesotho, and on all of those people. Our people. We don't want to attack our people. We will live in peace and harmony with them in this land. We love our African. If we can't love each other, who will love us? Africa, Africans is the only big tribe. When it's attacked, the rest of the world is silent. They don't care what is happening in South Sudan. They really don't care. So I just wanted to say that people like Vusi, money changed the way they see themselves, but most importantly, money changed the way they see their people. Just imagine I get rich. After getting rich, I then turn around and say, you know what? Black people were not ready for freedom. Imagine. Black people, I don't know if I've told this story here. My grandmother was a domestic worker. She was cleaning. And as she was cleaning one day, the white boys came back from school where she was cleaning. And then one grabbed her buttocks. And because they were small, I think they were 16 or something, like 15, 16 years. And obviously my grandmother being an African woman, I'm sure she was very gifted in an African way. They grabbed her buttocks, grabbed her breasts, and tried to rape her. But she tells the story that at least they were young, so she could fight them off and beat them, and could escape that situation and ran away. And then obviously my grandfather said, "You're no longer going back there. You're no longer going to work. You're gonna stay at home." When someone say we were not ready, I think of situations like that. That my grandmother, who was lucky to survive that, was supposed to go back there because we were not ready for freedom. You see, when people like Vusi Thembekwayo speak and Penwell, the Black Pen, speak, they don't know the head of Africans because they are better and well off. They don't know the stories. If they can sit down with Africans and they hear the true stories of how our people suffered for no reason, unjustly, how prisoners were beaten to death, and then the medical form report would say died due to natural cause. How people were hanged, how students were shot with live ammunitions, how people feared just to walk at night, just hearing the sound of a car, thinking that is a police van, they will shiver from top to bottom. How your father could not stand up for your mother when the police come kicking down the door and raping her in front of your father and leaving. And your mother has to look at your father in his eyes every day, thinking they raped me in front of you. Today we've got a colored child and you couldn't protect me as a man. We were not ready for freedom, according to Vusi. We were not ready.